Today we're going to look at 7 beginner blues-based shapes, and all of these shapes are going to sound really great whether you're playing a blues shuffle or more of a straight blues, Chicago blues, Texas blues, a backwards blues shuffle, whatever kind of blues you're playing in whatever key as well. They will all sound great, and the great thing about shapes on the bass guitar is that we can move them around into any key that we're in. If you want to download the bassless backing track that I'll be using for this lesson, as well as a PDF with all of the shapes written out in tab and notation, just click the first link in the description below. Now, all these shapes have silly names. Some are funnier than others, but this is just to help me remember what the shapes are, and this is the way I've taught it, and it's actually been really helpful for students as well, because I'll be like, hey, on this blues, a duck shape would sound really good, right? And it's just a better way of remembering all these different shapes, because you're going to come across so many different types of blues bass lines in your career as a bass player, and it's just a more fun way of learning anyway. The first shape I call the Motown shape, and here's how it sounds. Now, I call it the Motown shape because so many bass lines in Motown use this shape. Your love keeps lifting me higher and higher. That's just one example, but there's so many other bass lines that use this shape. So that's why I call it the Motown shape. So here's how to play this shape. We're going to play it in G, but I don't want you to remember the notes. I want you to remember what the shape is, and actually the numbers. So you're going to learn this shape in G. We're going to put our first finger on the G here, 5th fret of the D string. Then we're going to put our 3rd and 4th finger here, and this is an E. And then we're going to go first finger on the D, 5th fret here. So, and then you're going to go back up to the E, and that's the shape. So if you were to do a walking bass line, which is just quarter notes, so you play on the beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you're playing it in G, then you would just take that shape and go up a string to C. Right, when you hit the next chord. And then you go back to G. And then you would go to D. And then you can go down to this C. So it doesn't really matter too much what octave is the same note but played higher or lower. It doesn't matter what place you're putting the shape, whether it's here or here. Alright, so that's the C, and then you go back to G to finish the blues sequence. Now I'm thinking about this shape in numbers so I can put it in different keys. So how I'm thinking about this is, okay, I'm on a G chord and I'm playing G, which is 1, the root, so 1, then 6, which is the E, and then 5, which is the D. So I'm thinking 1, 6, 5, 6, right? Because then what I can do is, let's say someone calls a blues in E, I can go, okay, E, 1, 6, 5, 6, right? And you can go through the whole blues sequence using that shape. An example of a blues bass line that uses this Motown shape is Tommy Castro's version of I Feel That Old Feeling Coming On. So check out that and you'll be able to hear this shape in action. Shape number 2, I call the dog shape. Check out how it sounds. Now I call it the dog shape because I've borrowed this shape from Hound Dog, the Elvis Presley version. Now that version is in C, so you'd play it, and it's more of a rockabilly type thing. But if you were going to translate that shape, really all it is the root. So now we're in G, so the root G, the 3rd B, the 5th D, and then we go back down to the 3rd. And we're going to again play quarter notes, so we're going to play on the beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. and you can play that shape, and then you just go up a string to the C chord. Nice. And then back down to the G, and then to the D. You do it once, and then once on the C, and then twice on the G to finish the sequence. So that's a nice simple blues shape that you can use. Again, if someone calls, hey, let's play a blues in E flat, you can be like, okay, so we've got E flat, which is 1, and then 3, 5, 3. So G, B flat, G. And then you can go around the blues sequence like that. Shape number 3, I call the boogie shape. Check out how it sounds. With this shape, you're going to start 2nd finger, 3rd fret on the G here, 1st finger, 2nd fret, then 4th finger here. I'm actually putting my 3rd and 4th down there, and then 1st finger here, and then 2nd finger. So that's the first part. And then all you do is you go back down. So I'm on my 2nd finger, then I go 1st finger, 3rd and 4th, 1st, back to the G with my 2nd finger. This is probably the hardest shape to play technically, so maybe pause this video and just practice going 2nd, 1st, 4th, 1st, 2nd, 1st, 4th, 1st. And again, I'm thinking about this in numbers, so I'm thinking root or 1, 3, 5, 6, and then we have a flat 7 or a minor 7, 6, 5, 3, 1. And then you just take that shape, and when you get to the C chord, you, instead of playing your 2nd finger on the G, you play your 2nd finger on the C, and then do the shape from there. And then back down to the G. And again, I'm just playing quarter notes, so I'm playing on every beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. T-Bone Shuffle uses this boogie shape in the bass line. It's in A flat, the original. So all you need to do is take the G, go up 1 fret, and you can play T-Bone Shuffle. That's a really fun one to listen to. So yeah, check that one out. The next shape is called the Queen shape. Here's how it sounds. I call this shape the Queen shape because I first heard this shape, I think, on Crazy Little Thing Called Love by Queen. So that's why I call it the Queen shape. So here's how to play it, right? You play 2nd finger on the G. It's similar to the boogie shape, but then you go 1st finger, 4th finger, 1st finger. And that's actually it. So it's probably easier than the boogie shape. So 2nd, 1st, 4th, 1st. And then you just repeat that. And again, quarter notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you just move up a string and play that on C. And then back down to G. And then you go to the D. Once, C, once, G. To finish the sequence. Now, John Deacon plays that shape on Crazy Little Thing Called Love, which is in D. So this is why it's useful, right, to learn these shapes, because now you can go, okay, 2nd finger on the D. And you've learned most of Crazy Little Thing Called Love. There's a few little differences, right, like that section there. But pretty much that's the bass riff for that song as well. There's loads of bass lines that use that shape. Also, Johnny Be Good uses that shape, and Tell Me What's the Reason by T-Bone Walker. That's in B flat. I think both of those are in B flat. That uses the same shape. It's a really popular one, so yeah, definitely get that one down. Again, if you click the link, you can download the backing track and the PDF, so you can print that PDF off and read the notation or tab and learn these shapes. Now I'm going to throw a curveball at you now. I'm going to call this the underrated shape. And it's not quite a shape, so, don't hate me in the comments. But I'm actually throwing this in kind of to make a point. You can just play roots, and I think it's actually really effective. And I'll actually do this quite a lot if I'm playing on a blues jam. What I might do is leave a clip at the end of this video of me playing using some of these shapes on a blues jam. I think it was in G as well, the clip I'm thinking about. So I'll leave that at the end of the video. But what's really cool is you could play, say, the Queen shape. But say you've been playing this for a few minutes, it's actually really effective to just play the root notes. So just play a G. Just like that. And you can play that as quarter notes. So 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you could play it as swung eighth notes. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And of course, if you're playing like a blues shuffle, like a swung groove like that, which is more triple, then you would play it like that. But if you're playing more of a straight blues, it would sound like straight eighth notes. But it's actually really effective, especially like at the beginning of, say, a guitar solo. Say the saxophone player has done a solo and he's done like a 2-minute solo, as they do, and then the guitar player goes to a solo. Well, a great way to kind of break down the song is to, instead of playing whatever the bass line is, just go back to roots, and it kind of builds this like tension. And then after a few choruses, like sequences around the blues, then go to the root notes. It's really underrated. And the cool thing about the root notes is that you can play them different ways as well. If you're playing eighth notes, you could play them short. That's if it's straight. If it's swung, and that's a really different sound and feel. It will completely change the music if you play it short or if you play it long. So long would sound. So have a listen to me playing the blues, just playing root notes, but first I'm going to play them long, and then I'm going to play the notes short, and listen to the difference and how it completely affects the groove. You have so much power as a bass player, and this is just one example, by just changing the lengths of notes. So have a listen to the difference between the short eighth notes and the long eighth notes. Alright, the next blues shape is everyone's favourite shape on the bass guitar. It's called the box shape. Have a listen to how it sounds. Let's learn this shape together. So first finger on the G, like this. And then I'm actually going third and fourth finger here on the G, the higher G, an octave up. And then I'm moving my first finger down here and playing the F with my first finger, and then third fret there with my fourth finger. And we're playing quarter notes again. So you'd play 1, 2, 3, 4. In the plucking hand, make sure that when you go G and then you go to get the higher G, move your thumb down to mute the lower G. So thumb down. As I play the higher G, I'm moving my thumb down. So just make sure that that lower G, or it will ring if you don't do that. If you just leave your thumb on the pickup, you're going to get all that low rumble and it will kind of sound messy. It might sound fine at home, but on stage and through big speakers, or even if you're recording yourself as well, it will really come through that low ringing. So just make sure you're getting your muting down in your plucking hand. I'd love to know in the comments below what your favorite shape is so far, or if there's a new shape that you've learned today. Post that in the comments below. I check my comments pretty much every week, and I'd love to just read through them and see which ones that people enjoyed. The next shape is arguably one of my favorite shapes, is the duck shape. Here's how it sounds. Now I call this the duck shape because I first heard this on the Blues Brothers version of Sweet Home Chicago, and Donald Duck Dunn is on bass. That's why I call it the duck shape. I think the bass line is slightly different. It's in E, so it's slightly different, but I really like this idea of going first finger, so we're doing this in G, right? This is the shape in G, first finger, and then kind of sliding up to the sixth here. So I'm going G, first finger, and then I'm taking my third and fourth finger on the 5th fret, but I'm sliding up to the 7th fret, which is the 6th of G, right? So, and then first finger on the 5th fret, and then third and fourth finger. So a cool variation of this as well would be, and then the higher G octave, and then 6, 5, 6. That's a cool variation that you could kind of throw in there. But once you've learned that shape, again, take it round the cycles and then just go up a string. And when you're on the C chord, right, it's a really nice one. It sounds great. And again, if a blues is called in B flat, then you know, okay, so first finger on the B flat, and then I slide into the 6th, then I go 5, 6. Yeah, and just have fun with it. There's so many other blues shapes that I couldn't cover in this video, but if you are interested in learning more about the blues language and learning some more blues-based vocabulary, then make sure to subscribe to this channel, because I'm actually releasing another video which talks all about, well, I'm not actually going to share. You'll have to subscribe to find out what it's all about, but it's really cool, and it's a way that you can connect some of these chords instead of like just sticking to one shape, how you can go from, say, the G to the C, and all the different ways that you can do that. I'm just about to release that video, so I thought I'd share that if you are interested in more of this blues language. Click here to check out this video next, and I'll see you there.